stand strongly opposed to this claim. We will show, across 4 core themes, that the reality teenagers face online is far from beneficial. We will open our case by focusing on the mental health consequences of social media, consequences that we cannot ignore. In the UK, NHS Digital's 2023 national survey shows that the proportion of 17 to 19-year-olds with a probable mental health disorder has almost doubled in just 6 years, the same years in which Instagram, TikTok and Snapchat became constant round-the-clock companions. As social media use has surged, so have the rates of anxiety and depression. These trends are happening together. The picture is similar internationally. A study by Ames Lilly in 2023, published in the National Medical Journal of India, found that 23% of adolescents showed moderate to severe depressive symptoms closely linked to compulsive Instagram and WhatsApp scrolling. And the pattern becomes even clearer when we zoom out. In 2023, The Lancet, a reputed journal, published a major international analysis led by Professor Jean Twenge of San Diego State University. When you compare the graph charting the rise of social media with the graph charting teenage depressive symptoms, the 2 lines follow almost the same trajectory. A technology that is supposed to spark joy, community and confidence is instead quietly eroding young people's well-being. Teenagers should be growing, connecting and discovering who they are, not fighting a constant invisible drain on their mental health. Across country after country, the message is consistent. This isn't a coincidence, it's a warning. Something supposedly built to connect teenagers is, in reality, breaking them down.
Good evening. I'll be talking about how social media causes harmful effects on teenagers, such as addiction and distraction. Companies like TikTok and Instagram use features like infinite scrolling, notifications, and likes to trigger dopamine in teens. This strategy causes addiction and does not consider well-being. Every time a teenager gets a new follower, a heart, or a comment, it gives a tiny burst of excitement that makes them to check again and again. Over time, this becomes an unhealthy cycle that is extremely hard to break. The UK Ofcom's 2024 Communications Report shows that British teenagers spend around 6 to 7 hours a day on social media. This should not be normalised. In India, researchers at IIT Bombay received evidence that in 2024 that short-form algorithmic feeds like TikTok and Instagram Reels create what they call compulsion scroll feeds. Globally, the Wall Street Journal's Facebook files leaked in 2021 exposed internal Meta documents. These documents openly admit that platforms are engineered to maximize time spent, not well-being, not mental health, not safety. So teenagers are not choosing free exploration. They're being deceived into compulsive usage of social media purely because companies profit off of it. If social media is truly beneficial, it will not need to manipulate and coerce dopamine into teens.
Good evening, everyone. My argument is that social media is detrimental and acts as a catalyst for insecurity, comparison, and humiliation. In the UK, a report by the Royal Society for Public Health's Status of Mind declared Instagram was a dreadful platform when it came to teen body imagery. British teenage girls stated their mental health deteriorates whenever on social media, scroll by scroll. In 2023, a report from India by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences found 45% of urban teenage girls have experienced cyberbullying. And the reason for this? Simply because of their appearance. These young girls faced attacks in group chats, comments, and anonymous DMs just because they wanted to be free. Globally, an internal Meta research leak in 2021 showed that 32% of teenage girls said they already feel bad about their bodies, and Instagram enhances this negative feeling. Meta knew this. They wrote it themselves. If social media was beneficial, it would create a sense of self-worth, confidence, and stable identity. Instead, we have platforms which amplify comparison, constantly rank bodies, and normalize cruelty behind screens. That is not empowerment. That is damage masked with entertainment.
not only just distort information, it is now facilitating online crime. Social media has made it easier than ever for fake news to spread, with content often shared with little to no thought about source or reliability. In the UK, Cardiff University found that misinformation on TikTok outpaced NHS public health posts during COVID. But beyond health misinformation, the Youth Endowment Fund reported that 70% of British teens had seen real-life violent content online, and around a quarter said that the platforms recommended it to them, not the teenagers seeking it. This shows how recommendation is helping normalize and circulate real-world violence. In India, the Public Health Foundation of India observed that misinformation spread through WhatsApp groups increased vaccine hesitancy among teens and parents. And Indian police forces have repeatedly warned that viral WhatsApp rumors have contributed to real-world mob violence and conflict escalation. Globally, the World Health Organization has declared we are living in an infodemic, where harmful misinformation spreads faster than truth. And social media has moved from just sharing harm to organizing harm. European criminology research has documented teenagers planning robberies and violent confrontations inside DMs and encrypted chats. A tool that can help facilitate violence in the real world cannot honestly be called beneficial, in my opinion. Hence, social media isn't just harmful for teenagers, it's harmful for others through teenage use. Ladies and gentlemen, you've now heard 4 perspectives: mental health, addiction, body image, and real-world harm, and they all point to one truth. Today's online world is not designed for teenagers' well-being. It is built to capture attention, amplify pressure, and expose young people to unnecessary risks. A technology that repeatedly damages self-esteem and self-worth cannot be called beneficial. So if we care about teenagers' growth, dignity, and safety, this motion cannot stand. Thank you for listening.
Right, we've now heard from one side, and now we're going to hear the second side of the argument.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I stand before you to speak about one of the most defining forces shaping today's youth, social media, and how it actually empowers teenagers to develop global awareness and a meaningful, influential voice in society. We live in a world more interconnected than any point in human history. Through social media, teenagers gain immediate access to global issues, such as climate change, inequality, mental health, political movements, and humanitarian crises. But this exposure does not overwhelm them, it actually awakens them. It creates a generation that is more informed, more empathetic, and more attuned to the realities faced by people across the world. But awareness is only the beginning. Social media gives teenagers a public platform, a stage once reserved for leaders, experts, and adults. Today, a single message from a young person can cross oceans, unite strangers, and spark real-world change. It teaches teenagers that their word holds power, that their perspective matters, and that they can influence conversations far beyond their immediate surroundings. Social media also connects young people in ways previously weren't imaginable. Teenagers can find communities that reflect their interests, values, and identities. Communities that can make them feel seen, supported, and understood. These global connections build solidarity, cultural understanding, and a profound sense of belonging. And crucially, social media strengthens something every young person needs in this 21st century: critical thinking. They learn to analyze information, question sources, recognize bias, and form thoughtful, independent opinions. In a world overflowing with so much information, these skills are nothing short of essential. We have all witnessed the impact of this empowerment. Youth-led climate strikes, mental health advocacy, and so many anti-bullying movements. And countless other campaigns were born and amplified online. These are not isolated movements. They are proof that social media has become a catalyst for youth-driven change. So let's be clear, social media is far more than entertainment. It is a powerful, dynamic tool, one that actually transforms teenagers into informed citizens, articulate thinkers, and active contributors to the world around them. It gives them awareness, it gives them connection, it gives them a voice, and more importantly, it gives them so much power. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I believe social media is beneficial for us as it helps us explore our interests and express ourselves by sharing content like videos, games, etc. It helps us gain confidence through positive feedback and engaging with others. For example, I have seen folks playing chess online and learning strategies. I myself play Minecraft, which helps me creativity. Our school utilizes Class Dojo, a platform through which we earn points for keeping our school values and finishing our homework, which motivates me to do more of this. 5-minute crafts on YouTube help me take my own Easter bunny for which I receive compliments from my teachers and friends. Last but not least, through social media, we came to know about young minds, and I'm here right now. Social media is not bad, balance is key, and anything else is undesirable if done in excess, including diet and exercise. Like we make choices with our diet to be healthy, we must make choices on how to use social media to our advantage. Thank you.
Judges, he gets one more point just because he gets it your mind.
Today I want to talk about why social media is beneficial for teenagers and how it helps us learn, grow and stay connected in a positive way. First, social media has made us digitally smart as we learn to use different online tools, adjust our privacy settings and think before we post. It's also taught us to tell the difference between real information and fake news, which is really important. For example, when something goes viral, many of us now check the source or look it up before we believe it or post it online. This shows how our digital literacy has improved. Secondly, social media is helping us to get ready for a world full of technology and stay connected, as we are learning to keep up with new trends, understanding global issues, and even speaking up about things that matter. These experiences help us become more confident and responsible online users. Social media gives us career opportunities that we never had before. Many teens are learning skills like content creation, communication and marketing just by being online. Some teens even start small businesses, showcase their talents, or build a personal brand that can lead to real job opportunities in the future. And on top of all that, social media supports not just entertainment but education. We use it to follow educational pages, join study groups, watch tutorials and stay updated with what's happening in the world. It's like having a global classroom available anytime we need it. So, when we look at the bigger picture, social media isn't a distraction, as it helps develop digital skills, prepare for the future, build career skills, and learn in new and exciting ways. When used properly, social media is generally beneficial to teens and helps us grow in the digital world as we're using it every day.
Now we're going to the last presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to talk about how social media is not a distraction but a tool. In today's world, teenagers are growing up more connected, informed, and empowered than any generation before them, and a major reason for that is social media. It's a space for young people to share their talents, build supportive communities, and even start global movements. It's become a powerful tool to help teens make an impact way beyond their classrooms. Firstly, it's important to recognize that teens are already being educated on how to use social media. Online safety, digital literacy, and media awareness is built into all school curriculums. Teens learn how to identify misinformation, protect themselves from cybercrimes, and use technology responsibly. Secondly, social media also helps teenagers build strong communication skills. Regular online interactions teaches them how to express their ideas clearly, adapt their tone depending on the audience, and present information effectively, which are all skills needed in the modern workforce. Next, social media provides community support that many teens cannot find elsewhere. Online mental health spaces, hobby groups, and shared experience communities help teens feel seen. An example of this is the Teenager Therapy Podcast, founded by 15-year-old Gail Eiter and 4 of his friends. After Gail realized how important it is for teens to know that others go through similar issues as well. Finally, social media gives teenagers a global platform for creative expression. Apps like Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube allow them to share their art and music and writing with the world. They can receive feedback that helps them improve and inspiration that pushes them to grow. Instead of shutting down creativity, social media encourages originality. In conclusion, social media is not just a distraction, but it's a powerful tool that supports teenagers in building digital responsibility and preparing for a life in a connected world. Thank you.
We've now heard both the opening statements of both groups, so we're going to move on to the second bit of cross-examination questions between the groups. So would you guys like to start first, ask your first question? You'll get 2 questions to ask. You can begin with your first question.
If it can have such a negative impact on young people's mental health.
Okay, so the mental health argument is the opposition's go-to scare tactic, and it's completely flawed. You see, social media actually isn't creating mental health problems, but it's finally exposing what's always been there, but it's just been ignored. If anything, social media is actually doing the job that society, schools, and even adults actually just simply fail to do. It gives teenagers support, awareness, and a voice, instead of forcing them to actually suffer in silence. So, let's be honest, blaming social media is just an easy way to avoid addressing the real issue, which is the lack of proper mental health education and support systems. So if you ask me, the platform isn't actually the enemy, it's the only place that actually listens.
Yes, but of all the young people in the UK to report having suicidal thoughts, 15% traced it back to Instagram. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, regardless, like I mentioned before, with these mental health issues and these concerns that you have told me now, I've already told you that social media can actually reduce loneliness and it can provide emotional support. So although it is very unfortunate that these events do occur, these events do happen, we cannot entirely blame it on social media because these problems were still there before platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, before they were available. So I would say that the key for these things to not happen in the future is to simply promote healthy online habits and encourage positive spaces and not label it as harmful for everyone.
Yes, but UK youth surveys show teens report more loneliness after going on social media. If the outcome is isolation, the design isn't delivering community.
Okay, but I will also say that social media does add to communication because teens use social media to maintain friendships, especially long-distance friendships, because I understand bullying occurs not only on social media but in real life as well. Bullying happens online, people can struggle to find friends, but social media allows these people to create these long-distance friendships. So, I would say that digital communication, these types of communication, are essential for school, work, and daily lives. It allows these teenagers to express themselves, collaborate, and build these networks.
Have you got a counter argument to this point?
Yes, coordination is useful, but privacy loss, distraction, and after-hour pressures, there are safer school-controlled tools for collaboration. There's places where you don't have to get cyberbullied. There's other ways.
Okay, but I will say, yes, this evidence links to these heavy problematic social media uses that can do harm, but it does not justify blaming the whole platform, because it points to what we actually have to change, which are the unhealthy patterns, the poor support, and the irresponsible behavior of the user. So, like I said, social media is not to blame, but use it to reduce the harms and amplify the benefits of teaching digital literacy, setting healthy bedtime and device rules, and promoting healthy online communities.
Are you going to raise a big issue?
Yes,
Okay, so we're going to ask, this is going to be the second question we're going to ask judges, so this is the last question we're going to ask.
So you said social media can be used to connect. So then what would be the point of actually going to see people? What would be the point of schools, social meetings? What's the point? You can just do it all over a screen.
Well, sure, they could just meet people in person, but think about it, what if their phone runs out of charge? Then there would actually be a point of meeting someone in person.
And I'm going to back this up. Like I said before, I will repeat myself once again. I will say that teenagers use social media to maintain friendships and create long-distance friendships as well. I understand that you mean social media can possibly reduce in real-life interactions, but you need to understand everyone has social media nowadays. You cannot just say that social media is a platform where, teenagers just stay at home, they're on their phones 24/7, because that's not true. Okay, can you please tell me, what do you do outside of social media? Do you do a sport?
Yes, I do.
What sport do you do?
Football.
Football. Do you use your phone during football? Do are you on social media when you're playing football? No, you're not. Why? Football is a team sport. You play with, people your age, you communicate with people your age, you have fun. So this shows us that, life is not purely based upon social media use, because there are opportunities where you can go out with your friends, you can communicate with people in real life. Using social media is simply just a choice.
It's not just a choice. Like we said before, there are internal meta documents that say it's designed so that teenagers can't just log off. If logging off was easy, then Ofcom wouldn't find that teenagers spend around 6 hours a day on social media.
Can we finish this question and then you can ask your two questions? So could you just give me a summary, a quick response to that point, and then we let you guys ask your cross-examining questions.
All I'm going to say to that is you cannot blame social media or the device at use. Reason being is because social media and these online platforms have controls on them. These things are being developed to the day using AI, using human knowledge, so it is actually purely based upon parental teachings, parental guidance, and the environment people are in. Okay? So, these apps, social media, they have controls on them, they have parental controls, they have time limits, they have everything that a teenager can use and manage themselves, or if they struggle with it, with their parents, but I'm sorry, you cannot blame social media for it. It's not the platform.
We have enough time, so you can do it for your next point if you want.
Okay, you're saying that they can add on all these safety features, but like cars, they already have seatbelts built in. It's not like parents have to just add the seatbelt to keep them safe. So, what do you have to say about that?
Same thing again. A car does have a seatbelt, I agree with you. And whose choice is it to put that seatbelt on? It's the passenger's choice, right? Same way, the person who uses social media, it is their own choice to see how long they use it for what reason they use it for. It's purely based on the individual. You cannot blame the platform.
Okay, thank you very much. So now we're going to have you guys ask two cross-examining questions to the other team.
Here's my question. Do you have evidence proving that banning social media improves mental health more than teaching for safe use?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you have evidence that proving that banning social media improves mental health more than teaching safe use?
It's not truly certain what would happen if we ban social media, but banning social media definitely would help mental health, certainly in teenagers, because as I've said, misinformation often spreads faster than real information in today's world. Say if you receive two pieces of information, which one would you most likely believe? The one that reaches your ears first, right? If we ban social media, everyone can tell us which sources are correct.
Okay, however, how would teenagers actually show their freedom and their expression if you ban social media? Because right now, social media is a great platform where people can express themselves around the world if they don't feel at home themselves.
There are many ways to do that. There's newspapers, there are community places like this where you can show off your work. Like there was an art exhibition. Children, they showed their creativity, they made art and they showed it off here.
Not everyone has the ability to show it off in a physical place. Some people don't have anywhere else than social media to go to share their work, and it actually helps them, because if they were to have any place to show off something that they were so passionate about, wouldn't that just deplete mental health if we didn't have social media in the first place?
Also, I'd like to say that you won't be able to go to your football club without social media. It's not like you can just drive like for a 10-hour drive to like under somewhere and then just like go to somewhere just to book something. Using social media, you can like book online, you can like spend your money however you like, and you don't have to like drive for like your boring like 10-hour drive.
We could use Google to search that up. Google isn't social media. Google is a search engine which has information which we can use to search up stuff like that.
That is true. I agree with you. Google is a great platform to use. But do you use Google to communicate with people? Do you use Google? Okay, you play football, right? So, do you use Google to communicate with your coach? Do you use Google to ask your coach, coach, when is our next match? Who plays in these positions? Do you use Google to ask him that?
Say if my coach compares some player, I can search that player up, see which position he plays, and then I can take inspiration from that from Google. I don't need social media to specifically ask my coach that question.
Okay, that's fine, but that's for your own research, right? But what about you yourself? You can't ask Google, oh yeah, so, when's our next match? Who's playing what position? You can't ask Google that. You need to communicate with your coach, and if you do not have the option to physically go and communicate with your coach, how else would you do it? Would you use Google to do it?
Do you have a response, or would you like them to ask the second question? Okay, yeah, we're going to move on to your next question. Could you please give me your next thing?
How will teens learn to navigate online spaces safely if they are never allowed to use them during their formative years?
Say learning how to drive. You don't just put people on a road out in the real world. You
you have safe spaces where they can do that. Social media is not the safe space. It's in the real world. There are many dangers on social media.
They're like the car. If you learn how to drive, obviously you have to get on the road at some point. You can't deny that there aren't any dangers on the road when you're learning to drive. Just like you can't deny that there are dangers on social media. But social media also provides ways to block the dangers and how to respond. Like all teenagers get education, like I said before. So they know how to respond to the dangers.
Yeah, but reporting that is after the harm. You need to prevent it before the exposure, not after the trauma. Once again, like I said, I will repeat myself once again. It is completely based on what these teenagers are taught, right? So, if I take it back to your driving expression, a person needs to learn how to drive. A person needs to do their theory test beforehand. They need to learn everything about the car, about the roads, about the car signs, before they're even placed in the car. Same way, teenagers need to be taught about what's right, what's wrong about social media, how to handle situations when they come across dangerous people. So it's completely and entirely based upon the teenager's choice. It's completely based upon the teenager's choice, so you cannot blame social media itself.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we would like the judges to ask a couple of questions to both teams.
Sorry. I think it's going to be tricky to judge and still ask questions, so I'll try to be fair to both parties. Obviously social media has changed our life for majority of us, and all of us are so hooked on. And I agree with a lot of cons that have come out, those stats are proving that, but people are still using it to the maximum extent and gaining a lot more. Give me one of the biggest argument or a point, just a single bullet point from a con point of view and from a gains point of view, because I've heard 4 different ones, similar 4 or 5 different ones, If you are given a chance to talk about one thing, what will you talk about? And give me a couple of lines after that. Is that okay?
Can we start with you first? Could you repeat?
Just one point against, so you're talking against social media, right? Yes. Just one point.
So give one bullet point on your argument, and then they'll give one bullet point.
You can say a couple of lines why you think that is the most important part.
Spend time with friends. But people aren't doing that. They're spending more time on their phones, more time on social media. You said they're sharing their ideas, but a lot of people are just wasting their time scrolling through videos, going through infinite scroll loops. You said that social media saves time, but it may save a lot of time, but more is wasted.
Is that your one point? Yes. Thank you. His question was, give me one point and give me maybe a couple of lines on that one point. So is your time that social media doesn't save time?
Yeah, mine with social media wastes a lot of your time.
Thank you.
my point is actually the complete opposite, because I want to say that teens don't scroll because of social media. It's because they lack guidance, balance, and healthy routines. So we can actually blame lazy parenting, a lack of responsibility, and time management issues. So it's not actually a problem caused by the platform itself, because no boundaries, discipline, or parental controls are obviously bound to cause disruptions in a healthy use of social media within teens.
Do you have any more questions?
This is the question to the challengers, and any one of you can answer. We went through COVID, right? And I think your age is such that you do remember isolating, lockdowns. How do you think your experience would have been different if there was no social media? Would it have been better, worse? Just after your opinion, just an opinion.
That's a great question.
When lockdown happened, so I didn't really have access to social media, but I do know that on social media, my parents got a lot of information about COVID. A lot of it was true, but even more than that, most of it was false information, spreading lies about COVID, scaring people. That wasn't helpful during that time.
Can I ask you another one? That, you know, just now we witnessed blurring between what is a tool and what is social media. So, do you see that, like, some aspects of social media can be like a tool? Do you see it or you don't?
Yes, I do see that social media can be a tool. It can be a tool for communication, for sharing your ideas. But it can also be a tool for harm. It can be a tool for people to share their negative views about people. It's reality. Not everyone is positive, and social media means that there is more opportunity for people to share their negative views without consequences, because a lot of the time it can be anonymous.
The defenders, yeah? A very quick one. Do you admit that there are dark and undesirable corners within social media, or you don't think those exist?
So I do agree with you guys when you say there are dark corners within social media, but there are obviously very unfortunate events taking place in the real world itself as well. So no one is denying the risks of social media, and you know, every loss that happens is very heartbreaking, but these dangerous places on social media and in real life itself have existed long before social media was even put to use. So, if I'm being honest with you, social media does not actually force anyone to act recklessly. It does not force anyone to, give these negative comments or to give these negative ideas out into the world. In fact, I think it can actually prevent these dangerous trends or these dangerous challenges by spreading awareness and safety information really quickly. Because if we didn't have social media, then just imagine how slow information would have been spread. People would have been much less aware of everything that's going on. So I think social media can actually minimize these events from taking place.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to ask a question? See, there's no one. Do you have a question?
If you have a question.
So, someone over there. Could you stand up, Charlotte?
Hello, great presentation from both sides. Thank you. Well done. But can I just ask you, all of you have spoken about the argument. Nobody has shared your personal experience of using social media. How do you perceive it in your day-to-day life? Like, when you go to school, are the friends talking to each other face-to-face, or are they preferring messaging on the WhatsApp or any other social media platform? How do you see that? How does it affect your communication skills? Thank you.
Sorry, would you like a response from both sides?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, can I please start with you guys to...
If you don't know, I think because it's a debate and you have a role to play, right, and you are against social media, personally you might be for social media, so it's a very tricky question before you answer, yeah? Okay, just warning you, yeah? Okay, because your role is to be against, and obviously your role is to be on this. Or another option is we take this question, the answer of this question, out of our scores. What do you think of that? Can we just take it out of our scores? Yeah, let them have an honest debate.
Yeah.
You can see what they went now.
It's not counted towards your back. It's
you said that it's honest, but I feel like the side that I'm debating from, I feel like that was honestly my point of view. Not 100%, but definitely most of it. Because my friends at school, we've become so used to texting each other online that when we actually see each other face to face, there's a lack of communication skills. We spend a lot of lunchtime sitting there not knowing what to do, because most of the time we text each other for like 5 minutes and then we wait until the other one responds. It's not an actual flowing conversation. So we've lost the skill to actually just sit down face to face and just talk.
I have 2 points to make about that. You see, maybe you could use social media as another way to communicate, or like when you're communicating, maybe try and use some of the new vocabulary you learned. And then there's also a study at the National Center for Biotechnology. Information shows that people who play action video games have higher reflexes.
So I think that should conclude the debate. We will announce the results at the end with the rest of the competition.
I have a good question.
Oh, sorry.
Can I have it?
Oh, yes.
So guys, both sides, yeah. So you said social media is not great. Some of the ones. Then you guys said it's really great as long as it's controlled. Stick to the statement, guys. And parenting is also difficult for a parent like me, yeah. So you guys must stick to the statement that no nonsense, no wrong things. Stick to that, and you guys ensure that you are using the social media with the right purpose. So both the objectives should be fulfilled, and all the parents should be happy here.
Good job.
So yeah, this is the end of the debate. I hope you enjoyed it. So can we have a massive round of applause?